Hello, you're watching CVR English with me, Hanisha Kolati, and welcome to our today's episode of Leader of the Week. Today, we have with us a promising leader and a prominent figure, the newly elected MLA of Dubbaka, Mr. Raghunandan Rao. Welcome to our show, sir. So, you have won the Dubbaka elections recently. How does it feel?
So after a long battle of Telangana movement and a long waiting of the Bharatiya Janata Party's success, so we got this victory from Dubbaka.
Yeah.
More particularly, this is from the CM's constituency and the CM's district. Hence, this victory of the BJP in Dubbaka gives a confidence to all our soldiers and all our karyakartas. Those are working against so many issues in Telangana. They feel this as a great achievement, and this will make a turn in the politics of the Telangana.
Right. So, can you give me the entire process that is happening? Because BJP winning in Dubbaka elections is actually a very big milestone for BJP. So, can you give us the entire journey of what exactly happened during those elections time?
See, initially, nobody expected that the by-elections will come for Dubbaka.
Right.
But unfortunately, on the day of August 2nd, if I'm not wrong, or August 6th, I don't remember the exact date, but on the day, the then MLA has passed away due to some medical issues. So immediately once he has passed it, you know that within 6 months, any vacancy seat of the MLA or MP has to go for the fresh elections.
Yeah.
So earlier also I contested in the 2014 and 2018 assembly elections for the same seat. So once the MLA has passed away in the month of August first week, so I decided that mostly as I contested earlier 2 times, party will give me an opportunity to contest the same elections. So I started working on it. So from August 17th, I started my election campaigning. I know that within 6 months the elections comes.
Right.
But the thing is that there are certain elections due in the different states of this country. You know, once the state elections comes for any legislative assembly of any particular state, so whatever the seats are kept in different states, they will also go for the by-elections. So that was the situation with Bihar. Bihar assembly elections were due of November 2020. So the last day is November 29th of 2020. The new chief minister has to take the charge by November 29th, 2020. So our MLA passed in the month of August first week. So from August to November 29th, if you calculate, you don't even have the 3 exact months, not even 100 days.
Exactly.
So I calculated this like this. And as I started my career as a teacher, as a journalist and as an advocate,
Right.
so in every of my profession, like teacher also I should plan, like a journalist also I should plan for the timings, and as an advocate for presentation of my case, I should prepare myself. So there are certain preparations in my life from day one also. So I thought that August 17th I moved to the Dubbaka and I started my election campaigning. In the initial days, everybody thought that he already lost 2 times. I think this fellow is going there for losing his 3rd elections. So this is the comment from many of my friends, colleagues, and as well as senior reporters of Hyderabad also. They said that because Siddipet is the CM district and there Mr. Harish Rao is there, the finance minister. So the other side of my constituency is Mr. KTR is there. That is, I have been sandwiched in between these 3 constituencies. Yeah. Gajwal, Siddipet and Sirsila, these are the 3 adjacent constituencies of my assembly constituency. So everybody thought that again Raghunandan is going to lose the game. So unnecessarily this fellow is going there to fight the battle. So but I was confident when I went to Dubbaka on August 17th. Because in the year 2019, as you know that there was a senior leader of our constituency, earlier minister and who got elected for 4 to 5 times, Mr. Cheruku Mutyam Reddy is no more. In the year 2019 he died actually. So 2020 Mr. Ramlinga Reddy died. So there is a clear vacancy in the constituency. So the alternate leadership, when you compare with the other leaders, I am prominent in that area, I am prominent in Telangana state as well as in the other TV channel debates also. More people recognizes me and I have a good exposure and I am more vocal. And I have a good slang of Telangana slang. Like KCR I can speak the Telangana slang. So that is the other way where I connected with the people. So immediately I started my election campaigning from August 17th. Though day one when I started, it was people were thinking why this man is coming, any of the sympathy will be there, the ticket will be given to the deceased MLA's wife only, so unnecessarily this man is going to contest. So but when I went into the villages and I tried to explain how the Siddipet has been developed, how the funds have been taken to Gajwal and the funds have been diverted to the Sirsila. Yes, we used to compare the roads, we used to compare the schools, we used to compare even the Swachh Bharat scheme in the Siddipet, Dubbaka, Gajwal and other constituencies. Whatever the central funds, state funds, everything will go to these 3 constituencies only. Right. So when I put everything on black and white paper in before the public. They tried, okay, even though the TRS MLA won from that seat from 4 times since 2004, nothing has changed the shape of Dubbaka. Everything is going to Siddipet. Everything is going to Gajwel. Everything is going to Sirsila. Then I made the people to ask the questions. Why? Even if the MLA of Dubbaka is also TRS MLA, why the funds are not coming? Why? Because you are not questioning. Your MLA is not questioning. An MLA of the TRS party cannot question his high command because he has to get the seat, he has to get some more benefits from his high command. So that is the reason that he always kept quiet. So I told the public, if you don't ask food, your mother also don't give the food. Then I made the people to start a fighting, questioning nature. Our area is from the day one also we are the fighters. The people of Siddipet or the people of Siddipet district, we are always more fighting in nature, more aggressive in nature. If you take any leader who came from Siddipet, if you take Chief Minister of the Telangana also, he is from our area only. So our blood and our school and our lecturers, they taught us to fight only. Where there is some injustice, they made us to fight for the justice. So like that I motivated the people of Dubbaka. So when we are started, I was alone. So when the journey has started, I was alone. While going on, everybody started adding. So as the notification came in the month of October, then the government had started showing its original shape, original color, by imposing the police power, by imposing muzzle power, by taking all the advantages of the state. They almost tried to put me under pressure. 78 new cases have been registered against me in the year 2010. So before that, whatever the cases, earlier cases that were there during Telangana movement that were registered against me, all those cases were closed before 2019 December. But again, when they came to know that I am going to contest the elections, some different cases, unwanted cases, unnecessary cases, where my involvement is not there, in all such type of cases also, they tried to build up it. More particularly, some of the police commissioners, with their more enthusiasm, they tried to please the government, they tried to please the Chief Minister of the state, and they registered a number of the cases against me. So I know that I am, by profession I am an advocate, I know what is the consequence of those cases. So I was always in the public, I always explained to the public, and the public also saw how they are inspecting my vehicles, how they are checking my vehicles, how they are torturing me while I was election campaign. So everything I was trying to explain the public. So I made the public to be convinced. That is the reason why, if the 3 years, they know, the people of that Dubbaka knows that the TRS duration is another 3 years. This assembly will continue, this chief minister will continue. Even then also, Dubbaka is a place where KCR has studied. He studied his primary school education at Dubbaka only. Dubbaka is 5 kilometers away from his native village Chintamadka. So many times he says, I am a student of Dubbaka. So but the people of Dubbaka has received me and accepted me, and they said that he is only the man who can fight against the KCR. Because I have the subject, I have the slang, I know how to handle with KCR. Because my earlier days of journey in politics is with KCR only. So I was traveling with that gentleman for so many years. So I know what is the good and bad of that gentleman. So the people thought that he is the man who can fight against KCR. So that is the reason why our Dubbaka people has voted for Bharatiya Janata Party.
But do you think Bharatiya Janata Party is the correct opposition for TRS and MIM in Telangana, sir?
Yeah, this is only the party. Why? Because in the year 2018, the General Assembly elections were conducted for the state of Telangana Legislative Assembly. You know, after getting of 19 seats elected for the Congress, so if you see 2020 January 1st or 2021 January 1st, out of the 18 MLAs of Congress, those who have been elected, almost 12 MLAs have shifted from Congress to TRS party due to various reasons. Somebody might have said that it is for the development, somebody might have said some other reasons, but so many people have shifted from Congress to TRS party. So that itself clearly shows, if they vote for the Congress, even if the Congress party wins in this state, they cannot protect their MLAs. Congress cannot protect its MLAs. Congress have no proper leadership in Delhi. When there is no leadership in Delhi, in Gully also you should not expect a leadership from Congress. That is the reason why the people have voted for Bharatiya Janata Party, and the people of Telangana are confident that BJP is only the alternate for TRS and MIM in this state.
So do you think this, when people chose for BJP, is it because lack of option, or is it that something BJP has planned really big for the people of Telangana?
Yeah, we are for the country. Our slogan itself, the slogan of the Bharatiya Janata Party itself is for the country. party first, nation first, party next, individuals last. This is our slogan. So all the BJP Karyakartas, at the earlier stage of my discussion, I told you that since decades, the Karyakartas of BJP in Telangana are fighting against left extremism, extremists, ISI agents, and so many other kinds of terrorism the people of the Karyakartas of Bharatiya Janata Party in Telangana are fighting. You might be remembering that in the early stage of the Bharatiya Janata Party, we got elected only 2 MP seats. Even at that time also, BJP got 1 seat from that old state, that is Andhra Pradesh state. So that is the strength of BJP in Andhra Pradesh. So in Telangana also, we have a strength. It is not that just because we don't have any other the alternate people have voted for BJP. It is that the people are thinking and they are trying to understand the leadership of Narendra Modi ji. So the people have voted for the BJP and they are absolutely with BJP. Whenever the state assembly election comes, the people will vote for the BJP as it is only the alternate for the TRS party.
Also, as you mentioned, there were so many leaders who've been shifting party. At the same time, during the recent times, a lot of leaders from TRS or Congress are shifting into BJP. It is also rumored that BJP people are begging the other leaders from other parties to join BJP. How far do you justify it?
No, I don't feel or I don't try to use that word of begging. Political leaders will see their safety first. Whichever the political party, they feel that this political party will give me a shelter properly and this political party will encourage me and this political party will protect me, then the people will turn from one party to other party. Changing of political party is not an offence, for your kind information. But after getting elected with 1 B farm, if you shift to other political party, that is an offence as far as the Indian constitution is concerned. But you have taken the membership in one political party, you have shifted to another political party. That is your freedom. You can shift.
Absolutely.
But after getting a B farm and after being elected MLA on behalf of one political party, going and joining in another political party is an offence. So I don't feel that the BJP, as you used the word of begging, that the leaders are continuously flowing into our party. There is no necessity or no requirement for the BJP to beg somebody. So I don't want to use the same word for the other leaders who are coming into my party. Because we are all in a respectable profession. Like other professions, politics is also a respectable position. We are the pillars of this society. Without we, there is no society, for your kind information. So I don't want to use that word begging, but there is a flow of leaders from different political parties into my party. That is by seeing the leadership of Narendra Modi ji and by seeing the leadership of our national parties, national leadership. The people are interested, the leaders are also interested. As the flow is coming towards the BJP, as the people's opinion is towards the BJP, the leaders will also change. There is nothing wrong in it, in changing of the party.
So what are BJP plans? What is its strategy for Telangana? Also in another 3 years there are elections coming up too.
So there are certain plans which we cannot disclose or discuss in front of the media, but we have our own strategy how to come into power in Telangana. We have an exclusive plan for Telangana. That is the reason why our national party has appointed one of our All India General Secretary as the in charge. Mr. Tarun Chugh has been appointed as the in charge for Telangana. Generally when the national party concentrates, when one General Secretary has been appointed as an in charge of the party for a state, you fix it in your mind and you see the old statistics also, that next we are going to hit that wicket. Then only a General Secretary will be appointed as the in charge of that particular state. Now if you see the West Bengal scenario, there also one of our General Secretary has been appointed as an in charge, Mr. Kailas Vijay Varghia. So after his entry to West Bengal as an in charge of the party. So from one parliament seat to now today we are 18 parliament members there in the West Bengal. And this is struggling like anything. Machi pani se bahar nikale to kaisa tadapta waisa tadap rahi thi. So that is the reason why the General Secretary has been appointed there as an in charge of that state. After West Bengal, our next target is Telangana only. That is the reason why one of our National General Secretary has been appointed as an in charge of this state. So we have our exclusive plans for Telangana. When time comes, I will disclose with you. I don't feel that this is the right time to discuss with you.
So how is BJP making its way into both the states? BJP being which is all bigger part which plays in Ayodhya Ram Mandir, BJP which supports Hinduism and nationalism a lot. There are a lot of idols that are being vandalized in Andhra Pradesh, and BJP which mostly comes up front talking about situations like this, why is it silent now? Why is it not as much as vocal it was before?
I don't think that we are silent. All our leaders are talking about that particular topic. The things that are happening in Andhra Pradesh, it is very unfortunate. The demolition or the destruction of the ideals is very bad. It is very badly hurting the sentiments of the people of Andhra Pradesh. The rulers should take appropriate action against the criminals, those who are indulging in such type of criminal activities. But I don't know, due to the reasons best known to the government of Andhra Pradesh and the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, he is not taking any proper steps to protect the idols. Apart from that, he is paying salary to the other minority organizations. So it clearly gives an indication that he is against the Hinduism. He is not supporting the Hindu idols, and his law and order situation is very bad in that state. One after the other, every day by day, the things are going bad. So we are not taking this as an, as you said, that as an advantage or anything like that. We are observing the situation. The people are observing the situation that is taking place in Andhra Pradesh. I can only say that this is not good for the society. Demolition of certain temples or demolition of certain things which are legally built is not good for the Andhra Pradesh government.
Had it been any other institution, it would have created a lot of ruckus. Why is it that we are laid back in this situation?
See, at appropriate time our people are responding. I don't feel that we are late. Everybody is responding. We are planning for a visit of Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Mr. Adityanath Yogi to Andhra Pradesh. In recent days we are planning for some of our national leaders to visit Andhra Pradesh also. So we don't want to take the politics towards that side, but the government of Andhra Pradesh is doing it all in that angle. That is the reason why we want to protect our culture. We want to protect our Samskruti. That is the reason we have started protesting against the government of Andhra Pradesh. We hope that we will bring a pressure on the government of Andhra Pradesh to protect the idols of the different temples.
Also, sir, it is said that BJP accuses a lot on TRS failures, but they do never submit proofs. What do you say about that?
See, the government is run by the TRS party. The administration is 100% under their control. So from where do you get the evidences? So we are trying, we are collecting them under the Right to Information Act, and we are asking the other agencies to collect the evidence. Whatever the evidence we got, we already submitted it to the Home Ministry. In some of the cases, we submitted our evidences before the Court of Law. So we are trying, everywhere we are trying to find it out. But as you know, whatever the things are there, which were done when you are in ruling, will come out only when you will come out from the seat, most of the cases. So we are trying our level best to get the things that are being done bad for the state. We will definitely expose those things by of the case here.
So something a little bit about yourself, sir. How was your journey? How was your transition from being an advocate to a politician? And you also had a shift of parties. Can you give us a little more brief on it?
Yeah. Shifting of parties is I started my politics, or I joined my politics in the year 2001 with Telangana movement. The reason is that the people of Telangana are facing some problems with Andhra rulers. Whatever exactly they should get, they are not getting, whether it is education, employment or water or anything, resources, utilization of the resources also. That is the reason why I joined as an educated personality or as an educated advocate. If I am confined to my profession, I can do justice for only a little portion of the clients only. But if I join the Telangana movement, I can get something for the Telangana people. So for that reason I joined politics in Telangana Rashtra Samiti. After that, after the completion of Telangana state formation, I joined Bharatiya Janata Party. The place where I have been born, that is the Telangana. The force and the interest of the people of Telangana is formation of the state. That has been completed. Now the next thing that is left is to do something for the nation. So that is the reason why I joined the Bharatiya Janata Party. I am saying again and again, shifting of political party from one place to other place is not an offence as far as the Indian constitution is concerned. But only getting elected from one political party and shifting it to the other political party is an offence. There you should be punished. I have been not elected by the TRS. I have not been elected by Congress or something else. I have been elected on behalf of the Bharatiya Janata Party. I will continue my politics in Bharatiya Janata Party only.
So what is your ideology for Telangana, sir? What are your plans for it?
See, actually almost 1200 people died, or students died for the cause of Telangana. So what are their expectations? How they wanted to build a new Telangana? That is my motto and my interest. Whatever we fought for the Telangana since past 4-5 decades. So now finally the dream come true, and you are not implementing the things that has to be implemented. The ruler has changed. The state has been divided from Andhra Pradesh and you formed a new state. But nothing we have expected. What we have expected is nothing come true in this state. So whatever the Srikantachari or whatever the students, those who have turned their life into the fire, these are not their expectations. Building up 4 new buildings and making colorful lighting, saying that this is a development. This is not we have expected from the government of Telangana. What we have expected is upliftment of the poor, employment for all the uneducated youth of the Osmania University. We never expected that the Chief Minister of Telangana will never visit Osmania University. We will generally say in Telugu he is a Matala Mantrikudu. That Matala Mantrikudu went to the Osmania University only once, and there also has not opened his mouth. He kept his mouth shut and he came out of the Osmania University. See, this is what the Osmania University students or the new generation of Telangana have never expected. We expected something else from the government, which is not coming true. For the cause of which the people have died or the students have died, that is something else. That is local employment, that is water resources should be used properly for the Telangana, and the third one is finances that has to come for the Telangana state. So we will modify the action plan of the BJP and we will fight for the improvement of the Telangana state. Improvement in the sense not construction of 2-3 buildings or something like that. The socio-economic condition of the people of Telangana should be increased. Employment should be given to the local people only. If you take 100 count, at least 80 people should get the local employment. This is our motto.
Right, sir. Do you think TRS has handled well the COVID situation in Telangana? Since now the vaccine is starting to roll out shortly, around second or third week of this month, there is huge amount of percentage of people who are not ready to take it. So how far can we?
I don't know why the people are thinking in that angle, but vaccination is good because we are taking for our kids in different stages, different types of vaccines. Corona is such a pandemic situation that the people should cooperate with the government, whether it is state or central, and they should go for the vaccination. It is good for their health only and their family members' health. So if you say that I don't want to take the vaccine, it is very unfortunate, and the government should bring a law that everybody should be given vaccine, because that is not only your single problem. We 4, 5, 6 are sitting in this room. We all 5 are being immunized and you are not taking the vaccine. If something goes wrong with you and it will spread or communicable disease, it will go to others. So you are damaging the society, not only yourself. So you have to be forced to take the vaccine. That the government will plan in that angle.
But the main dilemma here is no one is certain about the kind of vaccine that has been rolled out. No one is sure that it's not going to cause any side effects.
See, for that only the research is going on. So far it has been not launched because all the preliminary tests are being conducted. As you said, there will not be any future side effect with the vaccine that you will take, because so many vaccines from our childhood we have taken. Do you feel that there are any side effects through those vaccines? Nothing. In the same angle, corona vaccine will also, the scientists will make it, prove it, that no side effects will be there from the vaccine of corona.
Would you volunteer to take it?
Yeah, definitely. If the state government or central government is ready to give it, and if they ask me to take the first dose also, I am ready to take it. I don't mind in going for the vaccination.
Thank you so much for joining with us, sir. We were super excited for this interview. Well, that was our today's episode for Leader of the Week. We'll be back again. Until then, stay tuned.